I used to live with this commodity, and just like all of you modern people in here, this was a very important commodity. What I'm talking about was a kitchen boiler. And I'm not just talking about any kitchen boiler. I'm talking about this kitchen boiler here in particular. Because, well, first of all, I'd say that there's a very good reason why I have chosen to frame this boiler in as a photograph rather than letting it stand here live like the rest of these boilers here. Because the thing about this boiler was that when you would turn on the hot water over here, the boiler wouldn't only fire up in order to heat the water inside it. It would actually flame up all over the place. And not only that, not only was the boiler slowly burning itself, it was leaking. There was gas leaking out of it. So somewhere inside this boiler was a tiny hole. And through this hole were gas particles spewing out into my apartment. And although this hole was extremely tiny, the particles, the gas particles that were coming out of it, they were even tinier. And the scary thing about those particles is that although they are like micro tiny, they can be extremely dangerous. And I would just be standing there in my shower, completely naked, getting these really, really uncomfortable thoughts of how this cloud of gas that was forming above me, how it would just at any moment decide to explode in order to reduce the risk of an explosion. I thought, damn it, man, I cannot live with this commodity. So I bought a new boiler. But then I started stressing about this boiler. So I thought, no, I'll get a plumber. I'll get a proper plumber who will fix it for me. The plumber's name was Wojciech. And Wojciech the plumber, he says to me, if somebody takes a shower with that thing, he or she will drop dead. And this is not me just being in a lying position. This is me being in a recumbent position. And there's a big difference. Because men and women of the Middle Ages, they would become recumbent figures. And they would just get a little comfy. They knew that death was almost there, that death was imminent. And then what they would do is that they would wait. So I went to the doctor. I came to the doctor, and he said to me, "Please take a seat, young man, and tell me what is bothering you." Well, obviously what had really been bothering me was what Wojciech the plumber had told me, that my pipes were made from lead and they should have been made from copper, but for all those years I had just been drinking this poisonous water. And that this was supposedly very bad for my health. I see. You fear that you have fallen victim to plumbism. As the disease develops, the patient may first become excited and confused. Seizures and coma will follow. And now the kidney and the liver will be so severely damaged that characteristics of chronic lead poisoning are highly possible. But in all likelihood, death will take place in 1 to 2 days.
Book twos, untitled, don't sit there like squares. You're not getting out of this. It's time for a party! Oh man, you can really trust that silver rabbit to get the dancing started. Come on, move it, shake it, baby, get down!
Oh, goodness gracious!
Wow! Cool! Who's that?
What the hell is that?
I never saw anything so stupid.
Nice shape, but what the hell is that writing?
Yes, it's rather queer. It's not a sculpture, is it? Surely not.
Ich weiß nicht.
Does it talk?
Don't think so. Maybe it's injured.
Let me see.
Don't get too close.
It's okay, guys. Just a box is all. Kind of outsized.
I didn't bring my glasses. Can anyone read what the writing says?
B-R-I-L-L-O. Soap pads?
Oh, that's brilliant. We can give the rabbit a really good shine. Did you order these?
Hey, I got nothing to do with this.
You say that, but I'm not so sure. I think there may be a connection.
Hey, man, give me a break. First sign of trouble, people always blame the rabbit. I'm innocent.
Scheißegal. Leave him alone.
It's okay, Cloud Shepherd. I was watching the rabbit the whole time when that thing came down. He didn't do a thing.
I think it's time for me to go. I need to find a way to get back to the heavens. I've got work to do. There are clouds that need moving around.
Take me with you. Please, take me with you.
Okay.
So long.
Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Tschüssi.
Adieu.
Macht's gut.
What I would like to do this evening is to present the initial steps I've been making into a larger project that I'm working on right now. First, very briefly, I will explain the premise of the project, the larger project, and then we'll demonstrate a couple of things. I started making lists of things that have lost their function. I started looking at things at my house at first. So I've been collecting these things in order to get a good overview of what uselessness is. And then the idea is to make a variety of reactivation attempts. So for this evening, I brought here some of the items from the lists. And I was thinking, what would be a good way to get them going again? So I thought one possibility could be to think of a system or a mechanism that undoubtedly works well and is very useful, and then apply the mechanics of the system to the selection of objects here and see what it does to them. After some considerations, I decided to work with the system of language for tonight. I have here the Latin alphabet. Each letter represents an item from my useless list, beginning with the same letter. It's CL. So that's L for looking for something in the places you looked in again and again. O. So that's O for obsolete ideas, ideas that were good at some point, but were forgotten or not taken further. Obsolete ideas. Thank you. So we know what some of the letters are, and it would be logical to spell some words. So we're going to do that. We'll start with a simple word, the word use, which is a U, S, and an E. Mariangela will demonstrate. Now that was the word use. Like, we'll try a sentence now. A simple sentence. Here is the plan. nice. Here is the plan.
What is this movie about?
Yeah, it's about Johannes and Fritz.
Yeah.
And the oppositions between them, like the romantic part, the romantic and shy and autistic. We made these puppets, and it took a long while to make them, to know how they would look like and what would they be. But once they were finished, like the Johannes and the Hildegard and the Fritz, then it became clear what they were, and then we could like project all our fantasies on them.
But you wrote this text.
We wrote it only after when the puppets were created.
Okay.
So first we made the characters, and then we found out, we can do this with them. So there was no scenario before we started making the puppets.
Kissime get and from his kisses I faint would die. Kissime, 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 kissime. And if God had gifted me with some beauty and much wealth, I should have made it so hard for you to leave me as it is hard for me to leave you now. I'm not talking to you from the medium of costume, no conventionalities or even mortal flesh. It is my spirit that addresses your spirit, as if they both had passed through the grave and we stood at God's feet, equal as we are, equal as we are, equal! Of life, and I want it now. I want it total. I want it complete. Otherwise, I reject it. I will not be moderate. I will not be moderate. I will not be moderate. I will not be satisfied with a bit of cake that you offer me if I promise to be good. I want to be sure of everything at this very moment, today, now. If not, I want to die. Game over.